You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, happy Monday. So we got Robbie, we got John. So what's going on, my man?
What's going on? It's 3 hours to Horror Fest. That's the only news. We won't be talking about comics. We'll be talking about Horror Fest in 3 hours.
I know.
So
It's literally my favorite thing that we do is Horror Fest. I get so excited. That's why I keep extending it. It started as just a month, went to 2 months. Now it's almost 3 months long, Horror Fest. Eventually, I'm just going to have a channel called Horror Fest.
So I forgot. What is the first movie that's going to be reviewed?
First movies, it's the Paranormal Activity franchise.
That's right. Did you get to watch them all, or what?
Oh, yeah, man. I had to justify buying this thing, which I bought it because isn't that cool how it makes like the ghost hand?
Does it make the ghost hand? I was trying to see that. Well, it's a business expense, right? Doesn't your intern have your accountant write that off on taxes?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But no, I had to justify that. We did all 7 movies. There's 7 of them, man. All 7 of them. And most of them are not bad. I'll tell you that.
All right. So shout out to, let's see who's here. Triple B, Barlord, CJ, Commander in Beef, Leonard, what's up? Lorena's in the house. What's up, guys?
Everybody will be in their real identities now that we're back on YouTube.
Yep. Well, we were back on Wednesday, so we were able to get on Wednesday. All right. So, John, how was your weekend?
Well, it's me. My weekend was wonderful. They always are.
So,
stopped at one of my favorite places, Jerome, it's called. It's a tiny little sushi place in Princeton.
Tacoma. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. Let me check, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you didn't get it, but I'm almost positive we definitely did it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was going to say once or twice a year, my friends and I meet over there. It's a very small, very humble sushi place. The guy came to work at Princeton University to be a Japanese language translator like 50 years ago, and he just never left. Students, he introduced the kind of immediate Princeton area to sushi and sashimi. This is probably 1970 something. Wasn't a lot of that in Jersey, especially not that part of Jersey. You know what I mean? You probably had some in New York or whatever, but Princeton is a solid hour train ride away. So you just didn't see it there. And he would do these little sort of servings in class, like these little tastings. Eventually he found a spot in Princeton, like 2 blocks from the university, 3 blocks from the university. And he's had a restaurant there now that's open about half the year for 34 years. And right before he opens, he kind of has like these little dry runs he does. Right. Soft openings. And you can sort of rent out the restaurant for soft opening. So at least once or twice a year, my friends and I try to get in there. It's just about a dozen of us, some sake. And we picked this weekend to do it, which it turned out was the shore was so crowded that I was glad to not be there. My wife was texting me, telling me how there was a line for everything. Coffee was taking a half hour. And I was just like I love the shore, but it was like that for a second.
Hopefully we're back. Tacoma, was it Wednesday or Thursday? If you could just put that in chat. I'm almost positive I sent it to you, but maybe I didn't. Who knows? I'm getting old. But I'll make sure it gets out to you tonight or tomorrow. All right. But yeah, just remind me if it's Jay, are we back? Jay?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
All right. I don't know what's going on. We got away with it for so long, but I guess Comcast is back on the job. So, Robbie, your weekend was all right, though?
Yeah, I had a nice, relaxing weekend, chilling at the house mostly. I did watch Alien Romulus yesterday. Got some thoughts on that one, but overall, I think it was a great return to the horror roots of the franchise for sure. But they made some decisions that I don't know how I feel about. So there you go.
So not to give anybody spoilers, but you guys already know. But from what I heard, it's yet again the corporation trying to turn the alien into the xenomorph into a weapon. At what point does that seem like a bad idea?
Well, this movie also is in between Alien and Aliens, so it fits perfectly where it is, and it has like
so it's in between.
So they sort of.
I saw somebody mention that it's kind of like the franchise's greatest hits in one movie. In a way, right? It's like the best of. It's got the action stuff from like Aliens, but it's got the horror elements of the first one.
Well, that's what I want to see. So over the weekend, I ended up watching Aliens again. That's one of my favorite. I really like Aliens. Okay, and
you watched the extended version?
There's an extended version.
There's an extended version.
I have not.
There's an extended version of every Alien movie, right?
I've been buying Aliens for so long, I have it on Laserdisc. Don't have a Laserdisc player anymore, but I have a Laserdisc somewhere of Aliens. It's one of those movies that if they had a format that it was on, I bought it. I was that guy that had both VHS and beta. And people were like, why? And I'm like, because I can.
I was just, thanks, Marcus. I got to tell you, I was just, that out of all the Aliens movies, that was probably my favorite. All right, Alien was good. I really liked that. That would be my number 2. But Aliens was just always my favorite.
Well, I think we've talked about it on this show, and it gets talked about a lot. And I'm positive Robbie's mentioned it on his show. Alien is essentially a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens is a science fiction movie.
Yeah,
Aliens has the same kind of energy that Starship Troopers does.
And even more particular, a sci-fi action. Right? It was like action heavy. And Alien, you're right. Alien, it's basically Ridley Scott says it's a haunted house film because they're in a ship or a house and there's a ghost or some kind of creature in there hunting them down, right?
It's also loosely based on a 1950s movie. I don't know, not the thing from outer space. I'm trying to remember it. But he talked about this idea of an alien gets on the ship, right? And they're kind of in space trying to head back to Earth. And as you watch the movie, they kind of get pushed from, it's a rocket, right? Keep in mind, it's the 50s. They get pushed from deck to deck to deck. And Ray Corrigan, in some kind of alien monster suit, is literally just punching holes through like tinfoil air hatches and stuff like that. And there's a lot of energy from that movie in the original Alien. This sort of, we literally, there's no one coming to help us. That's how Arctic horror became one of my favorite horror subgenres. You are in the middle of nowhere. Nobody is coming to save you. I'm just listening to one now from Apple Podcasts. They're on an asteroid. And somebody comes twice a year. And something hitches a ride. And when they leave all their stuff and head on back to Earth, they're stuck with their supplies and this thing. So it's like an 8-person science crew on an asteroid.
Right.
And some xenomorph type thing. And I'm like, this is great horror.
So watching the movie again, I loved it. I loved the casting. I love everything about it. But the one part in the end, it didn't really dawn on me until this viewing, this time watching it. Both in Alien and Aliens, you blow the xenomorph out the airlock again. That's essentially what happens.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I've played a ludicrous amount of role-playing games over the years with my friends. And essentially in the space games, Gamma World and stuff, the monster's going out the airlock. There's no two ways about it. And it's just, that's how it ends.
Well, it's like they write themselves in a hole because this thing is like indestructible, basically. And even shooting it out of the airlock doesn't work. You know, like, I mean, that is one of the things in Romulus is it starts like they find the wreckage, right? And it's part of the idea is that these things can survive in any environment, right? So basically you just get it off your ship and then you just, all right, let's just move on, right? It's like exercising a demon. You don't kill the demon, you just get rid of it.
Send it elsewhere. Lovecraft is a perfect example. Nobody ever wins in any of the Lovecraft stories, whether it's the role-playing game or the actual work that he did. The best you can do is maybe escape and trap this thing or put this thing back to sleep. That's a big one in Lovecraft. These things are sleeping, right? Some idiot invariably wakes one of these things up. Essentially, you want to put this thing back to sleep. But you winning? No.
What's up, Steve? And
that's just a no.
So I understand the problem. I understand the logistical problem because you got a xenomorph who bleeds acid. So you can't shoot it to death in the ship. Okay, because eventually the acid's just going to eat right through the hull.
Well, we have life forms like that on Earth now, not the acid for blood. We have life forms that have been trapped in ice. There's always some science group. You see this all the time on social media. Hey, we found some worm that's 60,000 years old in the ice. Invariably, every comment is like, put it back, leave it in the ice. I've seen this movie and I know how this works. They found worms, they found pseudo insects. They found stuff that essentially has survived 10, 20, 30, 40,000 years. There's no, when people are like, oh, the alien, the xenomorph is nonsensical. It's science fictional. It's not nonsensical. It's based on actual biology.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are things, fish, well, this fish kind of goes to sleep for 1,000 years. They give it a little shock of electricity and some salt water and suddenly it's flapping around again. That's not okay.
I would agree. Okay. I would agree. So, yeah, so I did watch it because of this Aliens Romulus being out and stuff. So I will see it at some point. But, when I heard that the storyline is again, at what point do you realize you can't turn it into a weapon? It's not going to work.
Well, I'd say they don't learn the lesson.
It's more than just trying to make a weapon, right? It's more than just trying to make a weapon. It harkens back to like Prometheus, right? The Guy Pearce character, right? Like he's trying to find a way to extend human life and make humans like the perfect life form to survive things like cancer and pollution and all that kind of stuff, right? But the one thing that this movie does really well, unlike some of the other sequels and even some of the prequels like Prometheus or Covenant, the tech feels like the same tech from the first Alien movie. Everything's CRT, everything's like dot matrix, everything, like all the sounds, all the computer clicks. It's really well done.
I mean that in a slang way, but it's very analog. And I'll tell you who did that really well was when Sci-Fi redid Battlestar Galactica. Instead of having all this kind of crazy tech, they made it analog and it made it feel approachable and more, more, I hate to say more real because let's be honest, it's science fiction, but it's easier for me to watch and buy into when somebody picks up a phone than when somebody taps their badge and starts talking. And I'm a Star Trek fan literally my entire life, but the communicators made sense to me. The little badges, I'm like, okay, that's what we're going with. No problem. I get it. But to me, I like to see someone pick up a device and talk into it. That's just
I love the next generation thing, right? But one thing that always irked me and always bothered me is, so like he like hits the button to talk to Riker, or he hits the button to talk to the bridge. He doesn't do anything different. It's like, how do they know who he wants to talk to? Does everybody just get this? Is everybody on the same, frequency or something?
That's why I like the classic Trek communicator, because there are times where you even see Kirk adjusting, obviously just, nothing, but you would see him adjusting, to talk to different people. Right. And I always like that. Again, that's a great point. Like, so I just hit a button. If I turn my phone on, it doesn't know if I'm calling you or Robbie or, my local pizza shop. It's a little, and yes, Johnny Sacco, as a Johnny Sacco fan, I always wonder, they've got smart watches. They're super close. Like another 10 years, your cell phone will be on your wrist. I've already seen like models they have. No, I'm not talking about smartwatch because you still have to have your phone with you when you have your smartwatch. It's Bluetooth. I want the whole thing to be my watch.
Dude, you won't be able to see it.
What? I meant tech-wise. It'd have to be.
Your watch would be about this big, dude.
This would have to be.
So, all right, Big John, just want to say hi to him. Steve,
Cathal, a belated happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Big John.
And we talked about this before. We've got a couple people, not just Robbie, obviously. We'll talk about that a lot. But we have Triple B doing his very cool unboxing videos. And now we have Castle's Corner.
Yeah.
And I want to say this, full disclosure, and I wanted to say this because it's not a Dynamite book. A lot of people have said to me, do you read anything that's not a Dynamite book? Sure. Castle did a very cool short for, I think it's Mad Cave Studios, Flash Gordon. And I sort of thought about doing it, not doing it. I'm old, and Flash Gordon was one of the first things as a little kid I read with my dad in comic strips, right? So I'm probably 50 years reading Flash Gordon on and off, books, movies, whatever. It takes a lot to sort of motivate me. Dynamite did Flash Gordon with my favorite writer, Jeff Parker. And no, that I had nothing to do with that. I was incidental in that process. But Jeff Parker does Flash Gordon, and it's amazing. It's Flash Gordon, the whole thing, King's Quest, King's Watch, really good stuff. But, you know, it moves on or whatever. Creators move on. I had zero intention when I saw somebody was doing Flash Gordon again. I didn't particularly know who the creators, like I didn't have a real connection to the creators. And I was sort of like, I'll kind of keep it in mind. I think it was like on a wish list or something, but I wasn't rushed. Castle did his short, and his enthusiasm was so legitimate. You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, buy this bottle of water because they're sponsoring the show, and you're like, okay, man, you don't really drink that water. Castle's approach to this thing was so genuine. I watched it. I said, okay, dude, sold. Cursored over, bang. I bought what Mad Cave calls a subscription, which is both a physical copy and digital copies. And I actually screen grabbed the order and messaged it to Castle,
right? Because
I wanted him to see. His approach was so sort of, yes, TJ, I know that'll be my next thing. As soon as I did the Flash Gordon thing, somebody's like, you know, there shouldn't be the whole Defenders of the Earth. I'm like, okay. Sure, you know, I'm in. It takes a lot for me to say, hey, do this. Perfect example. Robbie said a couple of years ago, go reread American Vampire. We were talking about stuff. I'd read American Vampire, some of it. It was good. It didn't really connect with me. Robbie said, go read it again. This was probably 2022, maybe. I go back and I reread it, and I was just like, I don't know how I missed how good this was. So it takes a lot for someone to convince me to go back and do something just because I'm old and I've read everything.
Right.
I've bought everything. I've seen everything. It's hard for me to get interested. But when someone else has a legitimate sort of enthusiasm for it, I'm like, well, okay, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm missing out.
Right.
And, you know, it was American Vampire with Robbie, and it was very much Flash Gordon with Castle.
All right, so hey Corey, hey TJ, Trey Pipper Dad, what's going on, buddy?
Thank you both.
All right, so tonight's giveaway is going to be Secret Warriors, signed by number 7, signed by Jonathan Hickman. Jay, you do not have a scan of this. I'm sorry, buddy. All right, but this is the giveaway of the night.
You want me to put it up there?
Well, it's pretty, so.
All right, yeah, okay.
All right, so we're going to do hashtag EXP Monday. How about that? No. You know what? Let's do, check that, Jay. Hashtag EXP Horror Fest.
Oh, there it is.
Horror Fest.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm talking about.
Please, Jay, if you don't mind.
Well, then it should be a horror book, man.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, what's up with this? Where's your evil Ernie at? Where's your Army of Darkness? Come on, man.
I literally picked this up at the last minute. Ask John.
We were walking into the studio, and he walks over.
I go, crap. I don't have a giveaway. So I just grabbed something and said, giveaway.
You know what? When we go break, I'm going to look around and see if there's any evil Ernie.
So, and weird, that would be incorrect, and you will not win or have a chance to win with that one.
What is it? It's Steve.
Steve, same thing, bro.
Steve, that's a different show.
Yeah, not this one.
That's the experience after dark.
All right.
That's the Dan Wick line show.
Oh no.
Boom, boom. Ouch. All right. So want to make sure we got everybody in the room. I know we got to go to break, Jay, in a minute. Going to try to be on time. All right. So
last week we were not.
We were not. We blew through.
But seriously, obviously go check out Robbie's show. But when you have time, go check out Triple B's unboxing videos, and absolutely
check out
Castle's Corner.
That would be on the EXP.
Yeah.
Ryan, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Jeffrey Machise?
Casey?
Yeah, probably Casey.
That's the South Philly way to say that name. Maybe it's wrong, but
okay, we are a national broadcast. Not everybody knows what you mean. So, yeah, so definitely you want to tune in. That would be 9 p.m. Central Time tonight, right? No, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central.
Yeah, it's 8 p.m. Central.
Sorry.
For Horror Fest.
Bro. Huh?
For Horror Fest.
Yeah.
9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Station one collection down. You might have to put the hashtag in by itself. I'm not sure.
And if you're in Hawaii, his show was yesterday. It was awesome.
Yeah, where my dog are. So you know what? Let's go to our first break. I don't want to go Mike's one. All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
What do you call the place on Spider-Man's wrists where the webs come out? His website. I hate myself for writing that joke, but you'd make me feel so much better if you just visited our website. We have links to our merch, new release lists, all the show info, and so much more. TheEXPLive.com.
Something is speaking to you. Just at the edge of your perception. Your senses fill with visions of vortices.
360 Comics.
Slowly drawing you to one thundering epiphany.
360 Comics!
360 Comics!
The universe is telling you to shop with 360 Comics. Joe's got amazing stock from high dollar to $5 books, from Silver Age to modern, CGC, variant covers, and more. 360 Comics every Wednesday at 9 Eastern, part of The Experience.
In a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, that'd be really great. Thanks.
Hey, we're back. All right, so let's get started. So, as always, we have Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, cover price of $4.99 or higher. So, a retail value of $40 or more. And as always, we have it for $5 to the group. Then we have DF Grab Bag 10-pack, 10 random Marvel DC Indies, $1 comic, and as always, we've got that for $10. Then we have DF Grab Bag 15 pack, same deal, Indie, Marvel, DC, dollar a comic, and we've got that for $15. Then we've got the X-Men Random 20 pack grab bag. So 20 random X-Men titles from 1990s with a chance of 1980s or 2000. Books are 9.0 or better, and we've got that for $20. And of course, the best deal of all is the grab bag combo. You'll get all 4 of the grab bags for $25. All right, so
that's
then,
actually $25 well spent, man.
Yeah,
because at least in this part of the country, $25 is like a lunch.
Yeah, I know.
And I'd happily skip lunch to grab
Especially
stuff.
places you eat.
Well, I mean, even average places. I mean, I do tend to eat it more.
I try to get the biggie bag at Wendy's.
Stop. That's for children. Don't eat that food.
That is not. They have the children's meal. That's for children. It comes with.
You're a grown man. Go to your house.
Dude, how much time you got? I think I got for lunch. You know where I do go? Miller's.
Miller's.
Because they have that $6.99 lunch deal, which is a good deal, man. I mean,
people, now that we're sort of, there people are realizing that all this inflation is sort of just greed. They used to tell you stories about why the prices were so high. The prices are high because they want more money. I think that the cat's out of the bag. So now people have had to start doing deals again. Like, you can't hide. Your bar would tell you, I'm sorry, this chicken sandwich has to be $20 because of inflation. And then people realized, no, man, you're paying too much for the chicken. You want me to pay too much for it.
Well, I'll give you one example. McDonald's. Okay, I have a bone to pick with them. To get a fish
fillet, the bone is in your burger?
Well, no, wait. So to get a fish fillet, the square fish fillet, okay, value meal, okay, you're almost looking at $13. I get fish and chips.
Smaller fish fillet than it used to be.
Everybody hit that thumbs up, please.
I was just about to say that.
Hit that thumbs up. I can't
like 30 people watching and 16 likes.
If there's a ton of likes, we can sort of convince Nick to give something away if there's a lot of likes, right?
Marcus, they stopped doing the $5 meal to Mickey D's near me. You have to have the app.
Like you need the app.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting the app. You're trying to force me into the app. The only way you can get it now is through the app. I can go to Wendy's, get the same biggie bag, and their nuggets are actually better.
Do we have a clip for Rex rant?
Yeah, get my soapbox out. So, but no, I mean, why would I get a fish fillet sandwich when I can go to Miller's and get like 2 pieces of fish and chips?
I agree with you. Don't go there.
No, I don't.
We in the food group that I run, we get that all the time. I can't believe that Wendy's wants me to pay X for X. Well, don't go to Wendy's.
Well, the biggie bags are a good deal.
I don't know what to tell you. There's no app on Rex's flip phone.
Not true, Marcus.
That is an Apple II, by the way.
It actually is not. This is an Apple
6?
No, it's Apple 13.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or an iPhone 13, because my Apple 7S finally was not being updated.
Was it collected by the museum and put it?
So it's still sitting at home. I didn't trade it in. I don't want people accessing my stuff, but
This is a Samsung flip phone. Those Samsung flip phones are cool, man. Everybody who's older and had a Moto Razor loved the joy of the flip phone. Once we kind of turned cell phones into mini computers that everybody had to have all their stuff on, it made it impossible to do that. I see that Samsung has some kind of flip phone. I've heard some things they don't work quite well. It's something about the way the screen opens. I'm a little too old for that sort of stuff. I'll just, whatever iPhone Verizon sends me, okay, that's fine.
All right, here we go. So we have, as always, a Dynamic Forces mystery box, 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 signed, 1 exclusive, and 10 back issues. All right. Minimum retail value guarantee $200. We usually have it for $100. Tonight I'm gonna make it our show special. I'm gonna do the DF mystery box for $85.
Ooh,
just to get things moving. All right. And keep in mind, 2 slabs, CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 signed book, 1 exclusive cover, and 10 back issues, all for the whopping price of $85.
Yeah, Eddie's right, by the way. The battery on the Razor, like you would charge that once a week if you were like a frequent phone user. I remember I would have to set a reminder to charge my BlackBerry because it just, the batteries were good. Now I make a few calls, I open an app.
Yeah, but you do so many things on your phone now, so
they've kind of become like your laptop now.
Yeah.
They almost jumped from you had a desktop, and then everybody had laptops, and everybody was happy. Then they went from laptop. I thought the next thing would be everybody walking around with tablets and pads. No.
Yeah.
Right. They jumped. They said tablets and pads. No, thank you. They went straight from, like BlackBerry-ish type phones to boom.
I have to admit, I really like my BlackBerry.
I did too.
Yeah.
BlackBerry. I was a frequent visitor.
The keyboard was so easy to type on. After a while, you get used to it. So I do miss that. But what are you gonna do?
Well, the best thing about it was you could customize everything. The look on people's faces at cons when my phone rang and you would hear like Johnny Quest, people would be like, dude, that's your theme song? I'm like, yeah.
You can do that on your.
It's not the same.
And that's how you know you're getting old.
It's not the same.
All right, so sketch covers. All right, first up, we got Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin with Namor cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza.
Did Nick see this? He loves the Submariner.
Yeah, well, he can't buy
he
it, dude.
He okayed this to be sold? Because
look, dude, if he keeps everything he likes, we have nothing to sell. All right.
It looks great on that green, too.
So it's just a retail of a $129.99, and we've got it tonight for $75.
That's almost like, I'm trying to think of the energy there. That's almost like maybe Sal Buscema did Namor.
Should have asked Mariano before you.
I should have asked him.
All right. So next up, we got Avenging Spider-Man #1 with Blade cover sketch by Tony Scott. And I got to tell you, this one jumped out at me.
Well, we had 2 movies, a
and
TV
he
series.
Looks a little bit like Wesley Snipes.
Yep.
Just saying.
I would be very surprised if we don't get another Blade movie, but it won't be Wesley Snipes. It'll be Old Man Blade or something, but I kind of the energy is out there.
Can he be Old Man?
Well, he's
slower. He's not they still age. They just age slowly, right?
Well, like Wolverine, right? Logan
he doesn't look that old, actually. To be quite honest,
there's a picture of him in like a tank top and shorts practicing for the movie, right? And it's hard to believe that this guy's like 60 years old.
Yeah.
The
he
same
does not
with,
look old at all.
The same with what's her name? She kind of posted her workout videos. Jennifer Garner. I think Jennifer Garner is 50, 53 years old. And the first day you see her, she kind of looks like someone's mom. She's in a sweatshirt. She's got the glasses. She's like, hey, everybody. The next time you see her, she looks like Elektra. And she's doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Definitely seems a lot happier than Ben Affleck.
That's a line in the movie that people miss and made me laugh super hard. Because she's wearing Daredevil's belt, the Daredevil being Ben Affleck.
Right. And
they're like, Daredevil didn't make it. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. She goes, it's okay.
Hey, Tom Bishop, what's happening, bud? All right. So next up, we have FF #1 with Deadpool Unmasked cover sketch by Tracy Medina.
Kind of hard to eat without it.
Suggested retail of a $129.99. I'm going to make this our show special. This one, I'm going to make $45 right off the bat.
Wow. That's
very cool.
All right. Then next up, we got Return of Wolverine #1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Will Torres. I really like this one.
This looks nice. The mask, it's got the vibe and the energy for it.
Suggested retail of a $129.99, and we have it tonight for $75. All right. Then next up, we have Ultimate Invasion #1 signed with Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Spider-Man cover sketch by Ken Hazer.
Ken posted the video of this, I think, yesterday, of how he was doing this. If you go to his Instagram and I think Facebook, the video of him doing that, and he actually mentions it'll be on sale Monday, and it's kind of neat. It's neat to watch the speed with which he does his stuff. Is just
It's amazing.
It's almost it's like laughing. Like you would like if I told you how fast he did this and you didn't see it, you wouldn't believe it.
Well, they've seen it.
And then you watch the video, people who've been on the show have watched him 45 minutes, and essentially there's like a
while we're talking to
him. It's
I've never seen anybody do that. I mean, it's just amazing. You tell him what you want. He doesn't look it up on his phone, on a computer. He just starts doing it.
Well, he's got, he's a lifelong fan, so he's got a long knowledge. He's got a huge knowledge base of this stuff, right? I'm pretty sure, I'm not spilling any beans here. I think he's talked about it on social media already. Ken is doing a Space Ghost cover, which is a Turtles homage.
Yeah, it was on FOC today. It's like an FOC cover.
Okay, I was going to say, because I've been guilty before of sort of blurting stuff out before it's been announced, but I was pretty sure. And he'd been sending me some images last month, like, what do you think?
Right.
You know, how this look? And I thought to myself, every book Dynamite does, I want to see a Turtles homage for. I would pay him to just do those. They are very, very cool.
All right. So then we got What If Venom #1 blank variant signed by Jeremy Holt with an all-new Silver Venom sketch by Ken Hazer, the master of negative space. It's just a retail $149.99, and we have it tonight for $85.
I'll tell you what Ken thought was pretty cool, simply because of the colorblind issue, which has been talked about a bunch of times. I told him that I wanted to see him do the negative space thing on a white cover for the Green Llama. And he said, I know you're kind of like a green fiend or whatever. And I told him, I said, I don't know if the Green Llama has enough fans. People kind of mistake him for other characters or whatever. But the Green Llama is as cool as Doctor Strange or Dr. Fate or any of those characters. And he's sort of like a combination of, I would say, Dr. Fate and Swamp Thing.
Right.
And I would love to see the negative space done with the white, and then just sort of like, there's a panel, and I can't remember the artist who drew it. There's a panel where there's like this blast of magic, and essentially all you see is the panel is white, and all you see of the green is his costume, and it's super reminiscent of the Spectre. Right, another character that the Green Llama sort of, is very similar to, and I would love to see that.
All right, so then we got the Immortal Thor with Deadpool Wolverine cover sketch by Tracy Medina.
Nice.
It's just a retail of $129.99, and we've got tonight for $75.
That they used to do covers like this back in the day, and they were always super, super cool. I hadn't seen this done for a while, but this is done really, really well.
Yeah, you don't see this. It's a little known ability that Wolverine has, but he has a Deadpool sense, and when it goes off, this is how they represent it in the comics.
All right, so
this is very well done.
All right, so now we've got let's see, signed books. Let's do those. So we have Army of Darkness Forever #1 movie poster foil variant signed by Tony Fleeks. It's just a retail of $69.99. And we've got tonight for $40.
Best Army of Darkness book ever. Right there.
I'll tell you how good this book is. It made me go back and watch all of Ash versus Evil Dead.
It's so shocking. You have so little time.
We were down the shore, and something came up on, I guess it was Amazon Prime. And they're like, hey, do you want to turn on Stars for like 99 cents for the month? I said, sure.
I just canceled Stars.
And I hit it. And the only reason I turned that on was because they have Ash versus Evil Dead.
I just canceled it.
It's as awesome and awful as you would expect it to be. I love everything about that franchise, particularly Bruce Campbell as Ash.
All right, next up we got Mars Attacks, Red Sonja #1, John Layman signed Atlas edition.
Are we paused or something? Are we good?
I don't know. Jay, are we there?
I think you're good.
Yeah. Okay, but maybe we're paused on my phone.
All right, so
this is great. I love this.
Just a retail of $49.99, and tonight we have it for $25.
This was a fun book too. I mean, I'm a big Mars Attacks guy, and I always get a kick out of any time there's some kind of crossover where Mars Attacks, Red Sonja or something. My favorite was IDW did a one-shot, Mars Attacks Popeye, and it was awesome. If you've never read that, you got to find it.
Now let's get back and look at it.
All right, so then we got Thundercats #2 FOC foil cover signed by Declan Shalvey.
Nice.
Suggested retail of $44.99, and we've got one copy available at $35 tonight. Okay.
That's something. You see a lot of properties being revisited.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind seeing Mars Attacks. I really wouldn't. I sort of, especially if it was done right, maybe on Max or something.
There's a really great run too by John McCrae and John Layman, I believe. Really, really solid run that they did. Only probably like 5 or 6 issues, but really, really good stuff.
I think the first time I saw Mars Attacks, it was done by Topps or something.
Yeah, probably. Like, who did the original cards? I don't remember, but I did. You know, I remember the Topps cards. But the first time it ever came into my mind and my world was the Tim Burton film. Honestly.
Yeah.
All right. So then next up, we got the Star Wars #1 signed by Mike Mayhew, silver signature copy. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we got this one available tonight for $35.
This is like a must-have. I've read this several times now, and the more I've read it, the more I like it. I just sort of, you know, I'm not going to say it's superior to what we actually got at Star Wars, but the Star Wars was very cool. It's just got a different sort of energy that's really neat. If people haven't read it, absolutely read it. And if you like it, this is a great opportunity to grab a signed copy.
All right. So the next up, we got Batman #103 signed by James Tynion IV. Suggested retail of $49.99, and tonight we have it for $29.99.
That guy does so many books. He must be exhausted just signing, let alone writing. I mean, this guy's really top 10 creator, one of the most successful guys out there. You know, we could spend an hour of the show just listing the stuff he does, and the good runs he's had. If you're not sure who he is, or you're not sure if you've read anything by him, I would strongly recommend fixing that.
All right. So then we got the original Marvel Zombies, Marvel Tales #1, signed silver by Greg Land. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we have it for $30.
Little known fact, you're looking at Colonel America, not Captain America.
All right. Then we got Batman 3 Jokers #1, premium cover A, Red Hood variant, signed by Jeff Johns. Suggested retail of $88, and we have it tonight for $40. All right. And then finally, we have, for signed books, we have Cable and Deadpool #25, signed silver by writer Dwayne Zarinsky. Suggested retail of $69.99. We have this one for $20. All right. So,
Eddie, that's funny. You know what? I wish my dreams were more cinematic, especially now that I'm older and my sleep is less normal. I wake up with these weird dreams. I'm like, where did that come from? Why didn't you make something better? You know what I mean? Like in my head, I'm like, you've seen a million movies. Do something better.
all right. So, Jay, we got to go to break.
Oh, break again? All right. And we will be back with Robbie.
Be back. We've had no movement, so I guess everybody's waiting for me to pull out the slashing knife. So we'll do that right after we get back from break. So stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Order Battle Quest comics at your local comic shop today. By this time in our journey, we had been on the trail of a very elusive creature for about 96 hours. But all the hard work is about to pay off. Oh, crikey, there she is. Oh, by the markings, I'd say this one's at least a 9.8. Oh, she's a real beauty. A true mint copy. Oh, this one will make a fine slab on anyone's display wall. Oh, she's a feisty one, though. Look out, look out! Mint Hunter Comics is the place to find that mint comic you've been searching for. Mint Hunter Comics, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, part of the experience.
Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons in Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.
All right, we're back. John is wandering around. There he is. All right, so let's go ahead and, all right. So I got to get some movement here. All right, so here we go. So as always, we got Dynamite 10-pack Rouge set for 5. DF Grab Bag 10-pack for 10. DF Grab Bag 15-pack for 15. X-Men Random 20-pack for 20. The Grab Bag Combo for 25. Then we got the DF Mystery Box. 1 CGC, 9.8, 1 Virgin, 1 Sign, 1 Exclusive, 10 packages. All right. So, minimum value of $200. We normally sell for $100. I lowered that to $85. Now,
this is like the Whitman sampler of the mystery boxes, right? I mean, you get a little bit of everything, right?
All right. So I'm going to do one better. So, if you bought the new price today, the DF Mystery Box at $85, the Grab Bag Combo at $25, you're looking at $110. If you buy both the combo and the mystery box, I'll do that for $100 tonight. So not only do you get the 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 Sign, 1 Exclusive, 10 back issues, you also get the Grab Bag Combo. So all that for $100.
That's something crop up on Amazon for comic books, and they're like, "Hey, are you looking for something to make carrying your comic?" It's a short box with a strap.
Right.
That's a foldable thing. And my first thought was, I want to get this for the show, because people are like, "How do you get comics out of here?" And it's like a flat thing, and you push it down, and it pops up to a short box. It's all fabricy, and I thought to myself,
"No, Marcus, you don't need that. I'm not."
See,
McDonald's.
that's the best part. You don't even need an app to get it.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. All right, so Spider-Man Shadow Green Goblin with Namor cover sketch by Joe Deliato and Mariana Nicieza.
This is so cool. Surprise somebody.
Suggested retail of $129.99. I have it at $75. I'm going to do this one for $65.
Something about the way this pops on.
Yeah, TJ, I can do that for you, bud. I'm pretty sure I can.
Highly recommend the Michael Cho covers for Space Ghost. The others are wonderful. Don't get me wrong. Jay Lay. I was fortunate enough to grab a Bob Layton cover. But the Michael Cho covers are just, to me, they sort of are stylistically maybe the closest to the cartoon.
So, yeah, TJ, I should be able to. Let me check, bud. All right.
And the only app I'm interested in is a nap.
All right, next up. Let's see. We have. On this. All right, so next up we got Avenging Spider-Man #1 with Blade cover sketch by Tony Scott. Suggested retail of $129.99. We have for $75. I'll do that for 65.
Someone should buy that and send it my way.
I was
saying.
just going to say, you know, everything Robbie does for y'all, the least you can do. The
Signed
very
in
least.
Blade Red, Blood Red.
All right, so then we got FF #1 with Deadpool Unmasked cover sketch by Tracy Medina. It's just a retail for $129.99. We had it 75. I made the show special at 45. Corey, that's awfully nice, bud.
Dude, I was just joking, Corey. Come on.
That's Corey. It's the community. That's the community we have, man.
Yeah,
A buddy,
Thank you,
my buddy who's a huge Robbie fan, we're getting together in New York City, November. And he said, do you know if Robbie's going to have anything going on that we could watch on my laptop? And I said, well, you know, Horror Fest. I said, you know, but I said, if you want to bag the trip to New York, and he didn't have the time to do it, we're only going to be a couple days in New York. If we'd had more time, I said, if you really like Robbie's show, oh God, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I said, I could probably manage to arrange for you to meet Robbie at his store if you want to fly down to Alabama. And it was literally, my friend's reaction was this. He went, like, he blinked. He couldn't believe I said it. I said, I could probably make that happen. He grabs his phone and he immediately starts checking his PTO log to see if he has enough time off that we can go down to Alabama. Like, I can't do it now. I said, well, maybe think about it for next year when you're putting time in. But the idea that, you know what I mean, that I could see the thought in his mind. He's immediately like, well, do we fly into Dothan and drive? Like, I know how his mind works. And I'm like, find a hotel somewhere. I know where there's a comic book store we can go to.
Yeah. I got people come to the shop to see me pretty much almost all the time. Like almost all the time. Like people will come in, and if it's not a Monday, I'm happy to hang out just for a moment and have a chat. But if it's Monday, sorry, I'm going to be pretty busy. So don't come on Mondays, y'all. Mondays is FOC day.
So yeah, my guess is if not sooner, next year we'll probably, you know, my buddy's old, he's married, so of course he's miserable like all of us are. So we take these little, you know, pops out. We'll go see like a hockey game in Boston or something, like whatever. And to see the look on his face, and it kind of connected me to, I talk to Robbie every week. We have for years. Sometimes I'll text Robbie like, oh, dude, check out this movie. Have you seen this? It's pretty cool. Or whatever. To see a real fan's reaction at the thought of going to Robbie's store and meeting him was kind of cool. It's like a 50-year-old man. This isn't like, you know what I mean? He was just like, oh, you could do that? And I was like, well, I texted him first, but yeah, I'm pretty sure his store is open to the public, and we could probably, you know,
7 days a week.
And I just wanted, the look on his face was very cool, man. It was like a legitimate sort of, we're going to do that? It was like when we walked into Joe Beef in Montreal. He heard me talk about Joe Beef, and it was like mythological to him. And we get there, and I'd already pre-ordered what they call the spanade or something, where it's literally their guys come out with like wooden trunks, and it's filled with lobster, sausage that they make there on the premises. It's a gastronomic experience, and he'd only seen it on TV, and it's not cheap, but it's very much worth the trip to Montreal and experience.
Well, John, if you and your homie come and see me, I'll also make sure that we pop out. I'll take you to Straight to Ale, which is one of our local breweries, which is awesome. And we'll take you to some restaurants. We'll get you some barbecue. It's going to be good, man.
I look forward to that because people say to me, oh, I never see you talk about barbecue. And I'm not hammering anybody, but I live in New Jersey. When I go to barbecue, I usually hit like Franklin Barbecue in Austin or, you know, some other places, South Carolina or wherever, where they actually barbecue. It's not a hobby. It's not a guy who won a smoker in a poker game throwing a brisket in there. These are people who barbecue is their culture, their lifestyle, you know what I mean? And there's nothing, yeah, sure, people are barbecuing in Jersey and it's great, man. Nothing but respect to you. You know, go ahead, keep doing it.
I don't know. I can check though. Lyle,
oh, you know where else Zorro Comics might be?
Where?
Oh,
Trunk?
Well, no, I have the Brennan Zorro, but there's also American Mythology Zorro. And we know the American Mythology guy.
I will find out for you, bud.
Oh, you know what's something? Well, we're off topic a little bit. A whole lot. I know Rex said that people were going to get some kind of Secret Warriors comic. That's not really very Horror Fest, so that can be a giveaway some other time. You can put that in the box. Pressed a few buttons and I managed to get people Dynamite, the My Bloody Valentine special, Virgin cover by Arthur Sudan. This will be the giveaway tonight for hashtag EXP Horror Fest.
Not this one?
What? No.
We'll do two.
You want to do two?
Yeah, with that.
That's on you, man. If you want to, okay, that's fine too. I mean, if
Horror
we're doing
Fest
two,
is
that's
so
great.
nice. We're doing the giveaway twice, y'all.
I figure if you ask the Horror Meister himself, this is probably more appropriate to Horror Fest, which is why I grabbed this. Also, Dynamite
Collars
is one
and
of my
skulls,
favorite
baby. Collars and skulls. That's what we're all about
Dynamite
during Horror Fest.
It's one of my favorite things they've done. It's a neat book. One of my favorite characters, low-key characters, is in there. Peter Cannon Thunderbolt. Just kind of a neat book to have. Yeah.
All right, so FF #1 with Deadpool Unmasked, cover sketch by Tracy Medina. Suggested retail of $129.99. We had 75. I lowered that to 45. I'll lower that again to 40.
Now, see, what you want to do is get this and then go like, when Ryan Reynolds is on the 2000th day of his promo tour, ask him, hey, can you sign this for me?
All right. Then we got Return of Wolverine #1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Will Torres. Suggested retail of $129.99. We've got it for 75. I'll do this one for 65 as well.
CIB, you're right. Django and Zorro was excellent. I really enjoyed I enjoyed everything Django that Dynamite did.
Yeah, Nick even got to meet and hang out with Quentin Tarantino for a minute because of all that, right?
In the front row of that con in San Diego, I'm going to say maybe it was 2015, 14, 15. I walked in and the seats were packed, and I think it was a Dynamite lanyard string on, and the person looked at me and said, "Oh, you can sit here."
Or you sure can.
And I got a seat in the front row because I'm pretty sure the person thought I worked for Dynamite, and I wasn't going to correct him. And so I sat down, and up on stage, there's Nick. And I know Nick is thinking, oh, God, my stalker is here at another con. Please help me. But there's Quentin Tarantino, and they're doing the whole thing.
He's like, Quentin, that was the guy I was telling you about. Avoid him at all costs.
Just run, bro. Run. Don't worry about it.
All right. So next up,
I think like the third time Nick and I got a picture at Comic-Con, he's like, again? He didn't realize how bad it was going to get. This was before my weekly visits.
All right, so next up we got Ultimate Invasion #1 signed with Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Spider-Man sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail for $149.99. We have it at $88. I'll do this one for $70. All right. Hey Alberto, what's up, buddy? All right, so What If Venom #1. Variant signed by Jeremy Holt, and all new Silver Venom's cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $149.99. We have it at $85. I'll do this one at $70 as well.
Oh, nice.
You know what?
And y'all know those silver pens get gunky, so he probably had to go through 3 just to do this cover. So it's well worth that price.
He actually talked about that when the other Venom that I have that he did a couple of years ago. He said something about that's like a 2.5 pen cover, man. Yeah. Because it's cool. And he said it too, it's not nearly as easy to work with. You wouldn't necessarily think the color or whatever, but now he's like the metallic inks, they're gunky and they're not like as a fan, like I don't think about that, right? I'm not an art guy, right, at all. But drawing. I love the art, but and I would never know that. And I've talked to a couple other artists too. Dave Acosta said the same thing. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I saw the one cover. He's like, I can't imagine what that's like. Doing a negative space cover. just the metallic pen.
Yeah.
He's like, that's like a week for me. And I'm like, really? Ken does that in like an hour.
All right. Next up, we got Immortal Thor with Deadpool Wolverine cover sketch by Tracy Medina.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to add this too. I made a comment, I think it was last week, about what if sort of doing Venom for everything. Like they had what if it, and I kind of remember it looked like a snarky comment about it. Well, one popped up and I started reading them. Then I read all of them. I always love when I have to kind of eat my own words, and they're very cool read. They are a very cool read. Things you wouldn't expect, like a Venomized thing, a Venomized Ben Grimm. You can check that stuff out. They're probably some of them probably more expensive than others. I'm sure your LCS has got them. They're just really neat. It's very, very cool. And of course, it's what if. So, they're kind of just doing their thing, but they're very much worth the read.
All right. So then we have Army of Darkness Forever #1 movie poster foil variant signed by Tony Fleeks. Suggested retail of $70. We have it at $40. I will do this for. Oh wait. I'm sorry. Go back one, Jay. The Deadpool Wolverine by Tracy Medina. Suggested retail of $130. We have it at $75. I'll do this for $65 as well. Nothing? Nobody? Man, okay.
I'm very surprised.
All
Maybe
right.
all their alimony is due or something, so they're all broke.
Yes. It's that time of the month or something.
We're
It's,
going to have a reverse contest. We're going to just randomly pick a name, and we're going to send you an invoice.
Like, this is everybody's chance to clean up on this stuff because Ron's not here right now. Okay, so this is your chance to get a hold of it.
I didn't want to say that, but I'm glad Robbie did. Let's be honest. Ron is like the 600-pound gorilla Grodd in the group. He buys everything. This is an opportunity, and I love Ron. Don't get me wrong. I text him sometimes when I see stuff. But by the same token, this is a good opportunity for some of you other folks that are like, oh, man, Ron has everything.
Yeah, you better hurry up before he Kool-Aid mans his way in here and just bust through the wall. Like, oh, yeah, I'll take this.
Oh, yeah,
this,
by the way,
this.
I'll take this. Have a good day, everybody.
All right. So then we've got Army of Darkness Forever #1 movie poster foil variant signed by Tony Fleets. Suggested retail $70. We have it at $40. I'll do this one at $30.
I remember the first time I met Tony in person. I had met him before on streams and stuff, and he signs my book, and I went, AMF? He goes, Tony, Anthony. I was like, oh. I was like, I don't know what this means. This like, who are you? I thought you were Tony.
I got the wrong guy. My wife accidentally was ready to have a blood feud with Tony Fleeks because my wife is like the super, super, super dog person. And when she saw that dogs were in danger in his book, what kind of monster was it? I said, take a deep breath. And she's like, she grabbed our dog, like she was protecting our dog. And I'm like, I understand your reaction, but maybe just read this first. I don't want that anywhere in my house. And she's pulled away from it. I'm like, trust me, this is a cool dude and he's a major creator. Just go ahead and read this. She's looking at it suspicious like I said, it's nothing Necronomicon. Pick it up. You'll be fine.
All right. So then we have Mars Attacks Red Sonja #1 John Layman signed Atlas edition. Suggested retail of $50. We have it at $25. I'll do this one for $20. All right. So then we got Thundercats #2 FOC foil cover signed by Declan Shalvey. Suggested retail of $44.99. We have it at $35. I'll do that for $30.
Preston, trust me. I don't think she's gonna. I guarantee you, she's not gonna read
Feral.
Beryl. My wife's idea of appropriate animals in danger stops at Disney Plus.
Speaking of Disney, I just noticed this. Does anybody else? Does Declan's D in his signature look a little bit like the Disney D?
You know what? I thought that
it does.
it really does. I don't know if that's by design or he's just doing it, but That's very cool. And yes, my wife is one of those people that kind of gets a little bit grim. The 50th time we've watched 101 Dalmatians, those puppies are going in the sack. Like, I'll see my wife like swoop up our dog, and I'm like, we watch this every year. You know those dogs are fine. What is the matter with you? I don't want to say anything. And I'm like, I understand. Yeah, we're very active with Burlington County Animal Shelter. And I too care about dogs and cats, but comic book dogs and cats I'm not quite so emotionally attached to. Also, I've read the book, so I kind of know where Tony Fleeks is going with this. You know what I mean? It's so I'll tell my wife, open up Marvel Unlimited and read Marvel Months. That's much better for you. Those are like the Infinity Kids books. Marvel Meows, Marvel Mutts. That's
all right. So next up, we got Star Wars #1, signed by Mike Mayhew, silver signature copy. It's just a retail of $70. I made it $35. I'll make that $30.
Man, I'm surprised. Maybe it's just Star Wars fans in the chat tonight, but
all right. Then we got Batman #103.
Actually, don't show this again. This might just disappear. This is very cool. Silver signature series of that book. If people are asleep at the wheel and not buying stuff, I'm happy to sort of, hey, Nick.
Signed by James Tinian IV. It's just a retail of $50. We have it for $29.99. I'll make this $20.
Preston will take the Star Wars.
You got it, Preston.
Preston, that's a good pickup. That book is very, very cool.
Yeah, I just looked it up on eBay. It goes for like $10 just on its own, no signature, right?
That's what I was going to say. I thought that was like a $10 book just if you walk into a shop.
So then we have the original Marvel Zombies. Marvel Tales #1, signed silver by Greg Lyons.
Saved from the jaws of my trunk.
It's just a retail of $70. We have for $35. I'll make this $25 just to get some movement. All right. So then we've got Batman 3 Jokers #1, cover A, Red Hood variant, signed by Jeff Johns. It's just a retail of $88. We have a price of $40. I'll do this for $30. And then Cable and Deadpool #25, signed in silver by writer Dwayne Sarinsky. Suggested retail of $70. We have for $20. I'll do this one for $15. Ooh. That's as low as I can go. All right. So let's see. Let's do incentives. So what do we have? All right.
I'm so glad somebody bought the Star Wars book.
Me too.
I really am, because that's
a
a very
cover too.
It's an awesome cover, and I just, like I said, it has a very kind of unique energy to it. I just, you know what I mean? And I know some Star Wars fans don't like it very much. Others do. I read it, and I kind of tried to read it open mind, middle of the road type thing.
Right.
And I was like, this is very cool.
All right. So incentives from last week, we have Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, number 55, a 125 ratio by Michael Cho. And we have this for $10.
Oh, wow.
It's a 125 ratio, so we have below ratio. All right. Then we have Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars, facsimile number 8, 125 ratio by Gleb Melnikov. And we have this for $15. But you know what? I'm going to lower that to $12.
Oh, wow.
So, all right. Then we've got Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider number 3, 150 ratio by Pablo Villalobos.
And that's beautiful.
And we have this for $25.
He's got a lot of Adam Hughes energy, doesn't he?
Absolutely. It's 100. That's a very cool book. That's one of the newer characters. A lot of times people will say, Gen Xer or whatever, I don't like your blah, blah. No, I love almost everything they've done with Spider-Gwen. I've really liked. That's like a newer character. That's just kind of like the last 10, 15 years. And I know there are people in, doing shows that they're like, gatekeeping, not humbug or whatever. You're not hurting anybody but yourself when you do that. We removed someone from our Twitter comics chat for that. I wound up telling him, it was like, vaya con Dios, man, you're only hurting yourself when you mash this stuff.
All right, then we got Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider number 3, 150
I'd love for him to
ratio
do Red Sonja or Vampy
by
too.
Scotty Young.
Oh,
And we have this for $20.
oh man. What is this, 125?
This is $150.
Oh,
All right. So then we got Spider Society number 1, 125 ratio by Tony Daniel. And we have this for $20. But you know what? I'm going to lower this price to $15.
it's a very nice cover. So who's got the better extended multiversal family? Batman or Spider-Man? No, I just thought about this because I'm looking at
Robbie?
them, and I'm thinking of the two. On a very
I would go
special
with
level.
Batman because Batman's like the other versions of Batman are like based on like really good books, you know, things like Gotham by Gaslight, Dark Knight Returns, stuff like that. The Spider-Verse stuff is, I mean, there's some great characters in there, but for the most part, they really push that Spider-Verse button too much for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation with friends about this weekend. I'm a Superman fan. A good friend of mine is like a super hardcore Superman fan. And I said, dude, I'm not saying he was talking about Superman in the multiverse. I'm like, there's only a couple ways you can go. It's not that interesting. Either he's another version of Superman or he's an evil version of Superman. There's not much interest there. And then we started talking about other characters multiversing, and it's the same with a ton of these characters. That you're getting multiversal versions, but they're not that super interesting. Spider-Man really went nuts. I mean, we've got like fashion designer Spider-Man. And Batman is sort of, one of my favorite versions of Batman we haven't seen a lot is Batman with a Green Lantern ring. And then we wound up later on getting Batman with a yellow lantern ring, which I thought was way more appropriate for him.
All right, so then we got Spider Society number 1, 1/100 ratio by Archer.
Wow.
And we have this for $125.
Yeah, that was a hot book. Hot book.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Ultraman X Avengers number 1, 125 ratio by Paco Medina.
So cool.
And we have this for $20.
Yeah, the truth is the Superman I found the most interesting in all these versions they've had in the multiverse the last 20 years or so is the one where he doesn't become Superman. He's just Clark Kent. He lives on a farm with his wife, Lana Lang. And I just thought that was like a much more interesting take on it. Batman is like in the X-Files or something with Lois Lane. She's his partner. And they're trying to figure out what's weird about all these anomalies in and around Smallville, Kansas. And it's all these things like, how did the tornado not destroy that town when it destroyed all the towns before it?
Right.
Well, Clark just stopped the tornado. And there's one straight from the beginning of the classic show. They're looking at these two images, and a river has changed its course to avoid flooding Smallville, which is the whole changes the course of Mighty Rivers. And Clark literally just went out there and changed the course of this. They actually called it the Mighty River. I don't know if it was supposed to be the Mississippi or not. And I just found that super interesting. All this guy wanted to do was be a farmer. He was still doing all the Superman stuff, but no cape, no pictures, please. No interview. Just I'm going to go do my thing, and then I'm going to go home because my mom was making pie for my wife and I and our kids. And I always thought that was interesting. And Batman, honestly, Bruce Wayne as an FBI agent was very cool. And to me, that seemed way more realistic than some of the other multiverse things you've seen in Batman.
So, all right. So let's see here. All right. So let's cover last week's Dynamite books. All right. We had Johnny Quest number 1. All right. So $4.99. Some of the incentives and the versions are more. Tell me what you want, and we will get you a price on the invoice. If you are watching this on Rewind, again, To remind everyone, on Rewind, if the item is still available, we will honor the price. All right.
Preston, to a certain extent, yes. That's a great analogy. Without Superman, there's essentially no superheroes, right? Clark Kent just takes over his parents' farm. Batman, having not been inspired, I guess, by seeing other costume characters, still continues to fight crime. He just does it as he's a profiler and he sort of puts stuff together. Lois Lane's father, being in the military, kind of pushes her more from the journalism field. A lot of this story made sense. Sometimes they just do. I understand. They're constantly trying to push the boundaries to see what works. This one world in particular, I don't know if Howard Chaykin did this book. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, Bruce Wayne sort of gets stuck in the basement of the X-Files because he's telling people stuff is going on. Like when the scene opens, he's telling people there's no way pilot Hal Jordan could have survived his test plane wreck. Right? And everyone's like, dude, Wayne, please. And they just walk away from it. Like they stick him in an office and they leave him be. But Lois Lane, sort of as Scully, is like, you know what? I think you're on to something here. And eventually that's how they discover Clark. And they kind of figure out, like, holy cow, dude. Like, and he's even more Clark staying in Smallville and never going to Metropolis. He would be like embarrassed to go out there in his underwear in a cave. Like, I would never do that.
All right. So next up, we got Johnny Quest #1, Bob Layton, black and white Virgin Dynamite.com exclusive, and we have that for $19.64.
The cover I chose?
I don't know. Did you?
Yes, this is the cover I chose.
All right. So, Eddie Weird wants to know what's serious.
Eddie, I want to say maybe it was Legends of the Dead Earth, but I don't know if that's quite right. I'll have to look at it because I have the stuff I like and reread closer to the top of my piles and stuff that is further down. It also might have been in Elseworlds.
Yeah, I think you might be. Are you talking about Son of Superman, by any chance?
That was a different book where.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that one was different. That was the first time where we sort of see. I think his name is John Kent in that book too, Superman's son or whatever. I think maybe it was in Elseworlds. It was just they really decided to kind of go with DC without superheroes, right? They just sort of decided, you know what? Like you see, Jack Ryder is on the news, but he's not the creeper.
Right.
He's just the guy doing the news.
Right.
And Clark is sitting with his mother and Lois after dinner, and they're watching TV, and Jack Ryder's telling you about what's going on. Lex Luthor bought the Daily Planet or something. And Clark is like, I'm going to go check on the horses. Like, he could care less. Lex Luthor is just some dude far away that, you know what I mean? He's just your garden variety evil capitalist dude. He's not, taking over the world.
All right. Then we got Red Sonja, Empire of the Damned, #5. $4.99 or higher. Again, include if you are interested in when you claim one of the issues, include the cover letter so that we can get you the right one. And prices vary, so it's $4.99 and higher.
This is a book that continues to impress me too. I mean, I've read a lot of Red Sonja since.
Yes, you have.
Middle school. I've read a lot of Red Sonja. They really sort of managed just when I think. Not that I wouldn't read it, but just that when, I kind of think I know everything, I've seen everything.
Right.
They kind of pushed something that was new, and I was super flattered by this. But I was talking to Tom Stejowski, like I want to do, and when they were working on the current Vampirella book, he said, "People like you crossed my mind that have been reading Vampirella as long as I've been writing it, or longer. So we kind of wanted to try to take you." In a direction where I'm reading it, and there have been times before, and I don't mean this in a negative way, where I'm reading a Vampirella book, and I'm like, I know where this is going. Yeah, I know who the creator is. I know what their sort of toolbox of storytelling is, so I know where the book is going, and I know the character, right? Red Sonja, this book is sort of, they've decided, let's try something different. And Vampirella Dark Skies is just this kind of multiversing of Vampirella has been a huge favorite of mine as long as they were doing it. Even before they started doing it, they had Aliens and Vampirella was done in conjunction with Dynamite Dark Horse. There's some Vampirella just fits into other worlds. She really does. If the character's done right, she fits into other worlds really well. And I mentioned to Tom some time back about seeing Vampirella in the future. And I'm not saying that he did that because I said it. I'm sure tons of people said it to him. But there's a Vampirella who's sort of from, like the near future.
Right.
And I think to myself, that's very cool to see.
All right. Then we got Vampirella number 671. And once again, same deal. $4.99 cover price. Virgins and incentives may be higher. Okay. So if you're watching on Rewind and you are interested in some of these new releases from last week, just make sure that you fill out submission form, but you fill out the cover letter. And if it is more than $4.99, we will let you know on the invoice. All right. And obviously, if you're claiming it tonight, just make sure you let us know what cover you're looking for. All right. So, all right, let me do a quick recap, a Rex cap, as they may say. All right. So again, we've done the grab bag combo and the DF mystery box combined $110 at tonight's prices. We're doing it for $100 tonight if you buy both. All right. So the DF mystery box has 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 virgin, 1 signed, 1 exclusive, and 10 back issues. All right. So then we've got Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin with Namor cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $130. We had it at $75. I made it $65. Hell, I'll make it $60 just to get some movement here tonight. All right. So then FF number 1 with Deadpool Unmasked cover sketch by Tracy Medina. It's just a retail of $130. We had 75. I made it 45. I lowered that to 40. I'll lower that to 35, and that is the last bit. That's hand-drawn sketch cover, 35. It does a little bit, Commander and Beef. All right. So, Return of Wolverine number 1.
Rex is putting his job on the line. You're fired. This book is $8. Rex! You hear a scream from the other room.
Wolverine number 1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Will Torres. Just a retail of $130. We had it 75. I lowered that to 65. I'll lower that again to 60. And this is rock bottom for me because Jay is correct. All right. So then we got Ultimate Invasion number 1 signed and remarked with a Peter Parker, Miles Morales Spider-Man sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $150. We had it at 88. I lowered that to 70. I'll lower that again to 65. The versions are lower print run, Marcus. I don't know exact quantities, but they are always lower. All right. What if Venom number 1, blank variant signed by Jeremy Holt, and with a silver Venom sketch by Ken Hazer. It's just a retail of $150. We had 85. I lowered that to 70. I'll lower that again to 65. All right. So then we've got Immortal Thor with Deadpool Wolverine cover sketch by Tracy Medina. It's just a retail of $130. We had it for $75. I lowered that to $65. I'll lower that to $60. All right. Then we had Army of Darkness Forever number 1 movie poster foil variant signed by Tony Fleets. It's just a retail of $70. We had it at $40. I lowered that to $30. Try it again. I'll lower that to $25.
This signature is vetted by Robbie, even though the letters don't match.
Yes.
All right. So then we have Mars Attacks Red Sonja number 1 John Layman signed Alice edition. It's just a retail 50. We had it at 25. I
love
lowered
the
that
Atlas
to
edition
20.
stuff.
Then we had Thundercats number 2, FOC cover sign, foil cover signed by Declan Shalvey. It's just a retail of 45. We had 35. I lowered that to 30. Then we have Batman number 103 signed by James Tinian IV. It's just a retail of 50. We had a price at $29.99. I lowered that again to 20. All right, so then we had the original Marvel Zombies, Marvel Tales, number 1, signed silver by Greg Land. Shit's a retail 70. We had it 35. I lowered that to 25. I'll lower that one again to 20.
Next week, make the prices higher.
All right, so Batman 3
This
Jokers.
$35 book is $90.
Batman 3 Jokers number 1, premium cover A, Red Hood variant, signed by Chip Johns. It's just a retail of 88. We had a price at 40. I lowered that to 30. Then we had Cable and Deadpool number 25, signed silver by writer Dwayne Srinsky. It's just a retail of 70. We had it at 20. I lowered that to 15. Then we had Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, number 55, 125 ratio by Michael Cho. And we have that at 10. Then we had Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars facsimile number 8, 125 ratio by Gleb Melnikov. We had it at 15. I lowered that to 12. All right, so then we got Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider number 3, 150 ratio by Pablo Villalobos. We have that for 25. Then we got Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider number 3, 150 ratio by Scotty Young. We have that for 20. Then we have Spider Society number 1, 125 ratio by Tony Daniel. We had it at 20. I lowered that to 15. Then we had Spider Society number 1, 1/100 Archer, and by Archer, and we got that for 125. And then Ultraman and Avengers number 1, 125 ratio by Paco Medina. We had that for 20. And then last week's Johnny Quest number 1 at $4.99 or higher. And then we have Johnny Quest number 1, Bob Layton, Black and White Virgin, Dynamite.com exclusive. We have that for $19.64. And we've got Red Sonja, Empire of the Damned number 5. That for $4.99 cover price or higher, depending. And of course, Vampirella number 671. We have that for $4.99 cover price or higher, depending on the cover. All right, Jay, I realize we got to take our last break, so we're going to do that. Stay with us. We'll be right back, and we'll get to this week's Dynamite books that are at Thundercats, Powerpuff Girls, so stay tuned. Stay with us. Darkwing.
So, the show is called The Geek Chat. And really, there's just a couple of geeks.
I'm Rich.
I'm Dez.
And we are your hosts for this weekly guide into comic bookery and all the geeky stuff that goes with it.
And that pretty much says it all. They talk about the latest movies and shows.
Okay, I'll be completely honest with you. Overall, D+ movie.
So the end. Did you know who that is?
That's She-Ra, yeah.
Yes.
The new #1 comics of the week.
We rep Samuel Jackson and we rep Mace Windu.
I passed on this. I was like...
No regrets.
No regrets. I really wanted to like this book. I really did. Like, I really did.
And just chat with each other. And with you.
Oh, Daniel says, I dosed off with the first one. I have zero interest in the Joker Harley ship, not Harley herself. Enjoy, not for me. Yeah, this movie's going to be rough for me to sit through, I'll be honest.
The Geek Chat, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just a couple of honest geeks.
Let's be honest. Come on.
And that is why people watch us, because we're honest.
Giving their honest opinions.
And the thing you always have to remember about the internet is everyone has an opinion, and they all suck.
Part of the experience. Whoa. Whoa. Did you miss it? Yeah, they can go by pretty fast. Let's slow down the footage.
Welcome. It's time to skim some comics. Miles Morales Spider-Man, I will just tell you that Miles is very important in his role as a vampire. So.
It's fine. If you like Hercules, read it. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's fine.
The art is still stunning. There's a panel, little spoiler, there's a panel in this where Chitauri first hits Lion-O, and it is the best "did she really just hit me" face I've ever seen put in a comic book.
Wow, live reviews of new comic books so you can be ready for New Comic Book Day. What is this? Oh, I see. It's Minute to Skim It. Part of the experience.
In a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel.
That'd be really great. Thanks.
All right, we're back. All right, so this week's Dynamite book. So, Thundercats number 7 is out. We've got cover A by David Nakayama, and that we have a cover price of $4.99.
Has anyone ever seen this guy do a cover that wasn't lights out? I mean, seriously, this guy has been just nailing like everything he does for.
This one isn't lights out, John. The sun's right behind them. It's very lit.
It's going there. I knew it was going there. All right, then we've got cover B by Lucio Perillo. Also cover price of $4.99. All right, then we got cover C by Declan Shalvey. And we've got that for $4.99 as well.
I'd like that cover. That's a good one.
All right.
This might be the cover
that you lift. All right, then we got cover D by Jay Lee and June Chung. And we've got that for $4.99 as well.
I'd love to see a Thundercats animated series done with Jay Lee style.
Hey, Phil, what's going on, buddy?
That would be crazy. That would be interesting.
Right? That I would love to see, because we've seen a couple different versions of Thundercats. I think they had one about 2010.
Yeah, like 2010, 2012, something like that, right?
Yeah,
that series was actually pretty good. That was a good series.
Yeah, I think, did I see Hulu or something pick that up?
All right, so then we got Thundercats number 7, cover E by Ivan Tao. And we have that cover price at $4.99. Then we have cover F. It's the Lucio Perillo foil. And we've got that for $9.99.
I know people talking about they'd love to see a Thundercats live action movie. And part of me is very much in favor of anything Thundercats. But part of me remembers Cats, the live action movie. And somehow I just don't think CGI and or practical effects, they haven't, I don't think they're there.
You know that we reviewed that movie earlier this year on PCP Movie Night, and it was, I don't think it was the lowest rated movie we've ever discussed, because there were some Hellraiser sequels that they got pretty low ratings, and there was something recently that everybody gave. It was something that's part of a franchise review, but I tell you what, I live and breathe with the on-stage production VHS, DVD, or whatever that came out from like the late 80s or whatever. I love that thing. And what they did in that Cats movie, the CG, the uncanny valley, the weirdness of it, it is weird, right?
It's a little...
But even just some of the changes they make to the songs and which characters sing certain lines, it's a travesty. It's just absolutely a slap in the face to Cats fans.
The problem I have with it is, and this is the problem I have with anyone who adapts something, I never want to stifle creative freedom. But when you have something as successful as Cats, and then you start, well, this character says this and this character sings that. Hold on a second. How many plays have you written? How many Tonys have you won? How long has your play been on Broadway, selling out year in and year out, decade in and decade out? So do me a favor. While I certainly want the best possible product and the best possible working environment for creators, don't, you know what I mean? There's a line that you have to sort of understand where, you know what, you're not a playwright. Just adapt what the playwright has done. There's no need
my
for you
favorite
to
song in Cats is Mr. Mistopheles, and they ruin it. They ruin it in that movie. They ruin it by having Mr. Mistopheles sing the freaking song, and it's just like it should be Rum Tum Tigger doing it, right? Like it's supposed to be his song to sing, and like I don't know, man. I still never get over. That's the worst thing about that movie, man. That's my favorite song in that whole musical, and they ruined it. They ruined it. Ugh, sorry. I had to get that off my chest to somebody.
The podcast rant and the McDonald's app, no app rant.
What? I'm not interrupting his ranting.
Get the app. Get some food for free.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I should have got the Cats app and I'd get the right version of the song.
It's very difficult. We own a DVD of a recording of like the 20th anniversary production of Cats or something. My wife picked it up, and we watched about 40 minutes of Cats. And very infrequently, my wife will just pick up her phone or start messing around on an iPad or something. My wife looks at me and in a very sort of, particular voice says, "Turn this off and please put our Cats DVD in." She not only wanted to see the movie, but she needed the DVD to go in to sort of give a little kind of palate cleanser to, how just truly awful that is.
All right. So next up, we got Thundercats cover G, Lucio Perillo foil version, and we have that for $29.99. Then we have cover I, the David Nakayama version, for $50.
Oh, there's that son that Robbie mentioned earlier that was not seen by the trade dress.
All right, then we got cover S by Mannix, and we have that for $4.99.
Nice.
And then we've got cover T by Ken Hazer, and we have that for $4.99.
Jay just mentioned, do you know how many times Marcus has asked about Mannix?
All right.
This Ken Hazer one's cool too, because this is an homage to the original Star Comics #1.
Yep.
All right, so now we've got cover ZC 1:15 ratio, the action figure Drew Moss cover, and we have that for $15. All right, then we got Powerpuff Girls #2 cover A by Leonardo Romero, and we have that for a price of $4.99. Then we've got cover B by Paulina Ganicho, and we have that for cover price of $4.99.
The number of people that I didn't even know watched Powerpuff Girls messaging me, friends of my wife's messaging me, it's a comic, it's the right comic. I was like, yes. So now there's all these middle-aged women going to the comic book store to pick this up because I won't get it for them. And I'm like, go to the comic book store. And sure enough, it worked. One of our acquaintances was like, I went to the comic book store to get Powerpuff Girls. And did you know they had this and this and this and this and this? Why, yes. Yes, I did know they had that. That's why I didn't tell you just come to my house and pick up a copy.
All right. So, all right. So then we got cover C, Karen S. Darbo.
I'm sorry, Eddie. I'll try to. You know what? I want to say it's an Elseworlds, but I don't know which one. Also, there were Elseworlds prestige format books, and then at some point, Elseworlds became like an annual thing for DC. So I don't want to tell you specifically what it is. I do think it was an Elseworlds, though. I don't think it was Legends in the Dead Earth or one of those other sort of weird multiverse things. And I think it's before, the sort of multiversing of like the 52 worlds and all that stuff.
All right, then we got cover D by Nicoletta Balderi. Got that at cover price of $4.99. And then we've got cover E by Paulina Ganicho. We have that, and it's a version cover. And we have that for $50. Then we have cover G by Ken Hazer, and we had that for $10.
Sorry, but Eddie, if I find out what it is, I'll message you.
Yeah, let me know too, man, because I'm stumped. I'm stumped as well.
I think it was, and I'm wondering now if it was a Batman Elseworlds with Superman in it. See, I thought it was a Superman Elseworlds, but now that nobody can remember it, I'm thinking, I've read a lot of books.
Dwayne's of Pain, Thundercats A, E, and S. You got it, Dwayne. All right, let me go back there. You guys continue. So Dwayne,
that's 2 N's, Preston. It was Mannix with 2 N's, which you can watch on Amazon Prime if anyone actually wants to see. Yeah,
I just typed in on Google Bruce Wayne FBI agent, because you said he was an FBI agent or something, right?
I'm positive he was an FBI agent or an
Dude,
FBI
it took me to a LinkedIn page of somebody named Bruce Wayne who works for the FBI.
And now
he's from Newark. He's from Newark, New Jersey. He's near y'all. So,
hey, the FBI building is like 2 blocks away. You actually see it in some shots from the movie Smile. And they're doing a Smile too. I'm not sure if it's going to be shot in and around Newark, but.
All right, so now we got Darkwing Duck, Justice Ducks, number 5, cover A by Jay Lee and June Chung. And we have that at cover price of $4.99. All right, and then cover B by Roger Langridge for $4.99.
See, now I'm looking at it the other way. Now I'm looking to see if it was a Batman thing.
And then cover C by Francesco Romacelli. We got that for $4.99.
Shouldn't be too hard. There's only like 800 Batman Elseworlds books, John.
Well, what always stuck with me was, and I'm sorry to give everybody like the weird earworm or whatever about this, but the thing that struck me about it was we've seen Superman be like a million different things, right? But essentially he's either good or bad. Like the rocket lands on Apocalypse and he's raised by Darkseid. Spoiler alert, that's not good. Or we kind of get a story where Superman lands somewhere else, but he still kind of becomes Superman. Whether it's Soviet Russia or wherever, he's destined to be Superman. There's no 2 ways about it. What really struck me about this was there are 2 instances of Superman in Elseworlds that stuck with me. This instance where he just stays Clark Kent. And there's one, I think maybe Howard Chaykin did, where it's secret society, where almost like in a weird Freemason way, they do all their good deeds secretly. Like they use Wonder Woman's invisible plane technology, so you never really see them. There's no Hall of Justice. They're hiding somewhere, like in a sewer system or whatever.
At this point, I'm thinking it's a Green Llama comic you read that you misunderstood as a Superman book at this point. So.
All right. Last cover D by Trish Forstner. And we had that for $4.99 as well. All right. So I'm going to do a quick Rex Cap. Last chance. Really is. All right. So the 4-pack grab bag combo for $25 in a DF mystery box, usually $100, $200 minimum retail value. I did for $85. If you buy both the grab bag and the mystery box, Value of 110. I'll do for 100. All right. So Spider-Man Shadow Green Goblin with Namor cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just a retail 30. We had 65. I lowered it. We had it 75. I lowered to 65. Lowered it again to 60. FF number 1 with Deadpool Unmasked cover sketch by Tracy Medina. Retail of 130. We had it 75. I lowered that to 45, then to 40, then to 35. All right, then we have Wolverine, Return of Wolverine number 1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Will Torres. It's just a retail of 130. We had it 75. I lowered that to 65. Then I lowered it again to 60. Then Ultimate Invasion number 1, signed with the Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Spider-Man sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of 150. We had a price at 88. I lowered that to 70, then lowered that again to 65. Then we had What If Venom number 1, blank variant signed by Jeremy Holt and with a Silver Venom cover sketch and signed by Ken Hazer. It's just a retail 150. We had it 85. I lowered that to 70 and lowered it again to 65. And then we had Immortal Thor with Deadpool Wolverine cover sketch by Tracy Medina. It's just retail 130. We had it 75. I lowered it to 65. Lowered it again to 60. Then Army of Darkness Forever number 1 movie poster foil variant by Tony Fleeks. We had it 70. I lowered it. We had it. It's just a retail 70. We had it at 40. I lowered it 30. I lowered it again to 25. All right. Then we had Mars Attacks Red Sonja. John Layman signed edition. It's just a retail of 50. I had a price of 25. I lowered that again to 20. Thundercats number 2 FOC foil cover signed by Declan Shalvey. It's just a retail of 45. We had a price of 35. I lowered that to 30. Then we had Batman number 103 signed by James Tinian IV. It's just a retail of 50. We had a price at $29.99. I lowered that to 20.
Me and Edward are busy scrolling through
Trying to find that
Wikipedia
one
and Google.
The original
Yeah,
Marvel Zombies, Marvel Tales number 1, signed in silver by Greg Land. Just a retail 70. We had a price of 35. I lowered it to 25, lowered it again to 20.
And Corey, that was very cool of you to gift Robbie that Blade cover. That was very cool.
So, and then we have Batman's Three Jokers number 1. Premium cover A, Red Hood variant, signed by Jeff Johns. It's just a retail of 88. We had a price of 40. I lowered it to 30. Then we had Cable and Deadpool number 25, signed in silver by writer Dwayne Zorinsky. It's just a retail 70. We had a price of 20. I lowered it to 15. All right. So there we go.
I forgot in Elseworlds they did Superman as both Mowgli and Tarzan.
All right. So the hashtag is EXP Horror Fest, all lowercase. All right, so the first giveaway is going to be the Secret Warriors signed by Jonathan Hickman. And then John decided the second one we're going to give away is by Arthur Sudam. Okay, in honor of Horror Fest. All right, so make sure you've got it. I'll wait a couple of minutes before we do the spin just to make sure everybody got it in there. You only need to enter the one hashtag to be eligible to win both books. And do you see a sticky pad there? Because we're going to have to write the names down.
Sure. Not surprisingly, they announced that there'll be no season 2 of The Acolyte from Disney Plus.
Oh, I'm sure everybody's very upset about that.
I'm shocked.
That was bad. That was just bad.
I feel, you know what? I feel bad for the people that liked it because I'm sure there are people out there that really like.
I enjoyed the lightsaber scenes, but that's about it.
It just I don't know the story that they were trying to tell. I get it. There's storytelling traction in that the Jedi aren't as cool as you thought they are. I don't necessarily agree with it, but okay. They've done this story. I've seen this story before. They did it. Not Jeff Johns, but other people have done this idea of the Green Lantern Corps isn't as good as you think they are either. Basically telling the story from the other side. They do it a little bit in Yellow Lantern Corps. Like, these guys are super inflexible and they're a massive pain to deal with. I just don't think, I think the actor they got to play the lead role, I think she did a really good job playing dual roles. But beyond that.
All right. So if you are watching on Rewind, we will honor the prices if the item is still available. So just fill out the submission form, tell us what you want, and we will invoice you right away. All right. So I'm assuming everybody got the hashtag in. So first giveaway is Secret Warriors, signed by Jonathan Hickman. All right, so let's spin that one first, Jay.
Hold on just a second.
Mm-hmm. Kenneth Bird.
Wow, congratulations, Ken. You've been with us a long time.
All right. So the second one is, this is a good cover.
I thought this was sort of a...
All right, so Dynamite Valentine's Special.
My Bloody Valentine from Dynamite. Eddie.
Ed Weird.
Ed Weird, you have...
Yeah.
Ed Weird won't know for a month because he'll be Googling pretty much everything DC has published in the 90s.
All right, so congrats. So we got Horror Fest with Robbie tonight on PTP, starting at 9 Eastern time. Of course, we'll be back Wednesday, 7 Eastern here on the EXP. And Nick will, of course, have his original art show at 7 p.m. on Friday, all Eastern times. Tell everybody again, remind them what you're reviewing.
It's the Paranormal Activity franchise. All 7 Paranormal Activity movies. We've watched all 7. We're going to be talking about them. Found footage, big deal. These were the films that dethroned Saw as the reigning horror franchise. So they actually are a big deal in pop culture. So that's why we're discussing them. And it's going to be super fun. I also want to make a quick announcement here. Friday at 2 p.m. Central Time on our channel, writer Joe Casey will be joining us again to have a conversation. And he just dropped a little book you may have heard of called Johnny Quest. So I'm excited to dive into that.
So no problem, Make Two. Anything you might be interested in, you can watch Rewind. Some really great prices tonight. I really just slashed everything. So if you see anything you're interested in, check out the Rewind. YouTube, Becky, I saw you enter the room a little bit late. But glad you're here. Jay, what do we got coming up tonight on the EXP?
All right. Well, during our little break between shows, make sure you check out Horror Fest. It's always a great time. Then at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, we're going to have Best Coast Comics. I'm going to drop the pre-save link down there in the chat. They're going to be talking about the Craven trailer, their thoughts on the trade dress on this Wolverine cover, and the Hero Restoration Arrest. Haven't heard too much about that, and so much more. It's going to be an awesome show.
Cool,
sweet.
All right, so as always,
thank you, Jay.
Yeah, thank you, Jay.
Thank you,
Pushing
Jay.
all
As
the
always,
buttons
push all the buttons, man. I'm not doing that.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. As always, spending your Monday nights with us. Robbie, thanks again.
Yeah, this is hard for this. He's got no time for this. This is lowbrow for him.
I mean, he's fucking. He watched all the movies already. All right, so hang in there. Thank you for joining us, and
you'll
stay
be back
safe.
Wednesday.
I'll be back
and
Wednesday.
Nick will be here Friday.
You got it. All
Thanks,
right,
everybody.
so
Have
peace.
a great night.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.